Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to show you a park that's been a work in progress for quite a while now. This park originally started as a contest build, an extension to the Willow Grove Challenge that goes all the way back to Planet Coaster 1. When Planet Coaster 2 released, the idea was to carry the concept forward and reimagine it here. The contest itself has long since wrapped up, but the park didn't stop existing just because the deadline did. Rather than rushing something unfinished, I decided to step back and treat this as what it always should have been, a full park project. So this video isn't a contest entry. It's a walkthrough of what's been built so far, a look at the park's major attractions, and an overview of where the project is heading now that there is no clock attached to it. Let's head inside and take a look. Hello everybody, we just got off the bus coming out of the parking lot, so we're here at our entrance. So let's go ahead and come this way. So this is where the main entrance of the park is going to be. Still a lot more to work on, but I think it's coming out pretty well. We have two more buses out here that go over to the parking lot, and you can see our little trolley going through the parking lot that way. So we come this way, we come through the main entrance where we have our fountain dedicated to William Willow. We have different little sayings on it. So I think the fountain came out pretty well. This was one of the requirements that was for the competition. But I think it actually came out pretty well. I think Agatha would actually like how this came out also. But let's go ahead and come over here to our entrance. We have our two ticket booths here. So these actual screens will be changing. I just have them up there just to show where I have the screens and what they're doing. But this is where you come in and get your tickets and stuff if you didn't already order online. If you did order online, all you have to do is come over here and scan in, and then you'll be able to come in. We do have bathrooms. That's right before the ticket gate. So if you're leaving or if you're coming in and you need to go to the bathroom, you can jump in here and jump into a stall real quick. This goes to both sides of the gates. Let's go ahead and walk into here. So out here we have our main first kind of plaza. So we got a couple of things to eat here. So we have another little ticket booth or information center here. We have us some Guppy Cola. And then we have us some Chief Beef. So you can get you a hamburger and a cola here at the very front. We'll go ahead and work this way first. We also have our on-ride camera here. This is actually connected to Willow's Descent right here, which is our boomerang coaster here in the park. So after you ride it, you can come over here and purchase your on-ride photo. It's actually done right... I think it was done right here at this drop. Yeah. So it's actually done down here at this drop. You can see the camera right there. But let's go ahead and head off this way. As you can see, the train's actually coming through too. We have a working railroad. It didn't work that time. That was just inconvenient. But the railroad actually does work. So when the train comes, the lights will come on and flash and the gates will close. So hopefully we'll see the next train come through here next soon. But let's go ahead and come over here to Willow's Descent. We'll ride that in a minute. But we're going to come down here to the entrance of the train station, which would be right here. Yeah. So you actually come up this way. And then you take this track all the way around. So there's a long entrance gate to get in. So you actually enter inside of the train station, and then you come back out here to the porch, where you can look at and see people walking by still. And then we would come in this way. Why we got a stump there? Have to fix that. So this is where you would come in and ride the train. The train goes through, right now it has 2 different stops. We're going to add on an extra stop later, but we'll get into that. But I think this is the only train station that's actually built. The other train stations aren't built yet. You can see the first half of Willow's descent right here. I was hoping to see another train come through so you guys can see the railroad crossings. Hello. This is the exit. We'll come up here. Okay, here comes a train. Hopefully it works this time. I don't know why it didn't work that time. I know in another game that I built, where I actually built the railroad crossing, it didn't work with that type of train, but I never had the issue here. So let's see if this actually activates. Might be something I have to fix. I haven't actually been in the physical game or done much to it in a while, since a few updates. So I'm hoping an update didn't come and break it. While I was in here kind of exploring, fixing some stuff. Okay. You can hear it. These are flashing. If it was nighttime, but they would be flashing. There's the gates going. And then the gates will open back up. Again, I built this pretty early as the game came out, so there might be some tweaks I can do to make this a little bit easier or better. I don't know what type of updates they did with moving everything, but I might look into that later. But let's go ahead and look at our first coaster here, which again is Willow's Descent. So come up here through the entrance and snake our way in. This still is going to have some, change some stuff around through here too. But this is pretty much how it's going to come out to be. There's not much more I needed to do in this section. This is probably the only section that's more complete than everything else. Then we'll come across the front of the station here. Then we'll go ahead and hop into here. So the station still needs a little bit of work also, but it's definitely one of my more complete rides out of all of them. So I don't know if we can hop on here real quick. We might have to wait for the next train to come by, so we'll wait until this comes through and then we'll go ahead and hop on this. In the original Willow Groves Park, my very first coaster was the boomerang called Willow's Drop. And this is a larger, more intense evolution of that idea. Boomerangs are compact, visual, and efficient. They make a strong statement without taking up the massive footprint. Willow's Descent runs just over 2.5 minutes from start to finish, topping at just under 70 miles per hour. It packs in 10 inversions and keeps the intensity high from beginning to end, which is why the excitement and fear ratings sit higher than most rides in the park. With the station essentially complete, the ride is ready in its final form, serving as both a callback to the park's history and one of its most intense attractions. Alright, so that was Willow's Descent. Still, notice there's a couple of parts in it that I'm going to need to work on. But again, this was the first roller coaster I built in the park. So again, with updates and stuff, probably changed some things. So I'll look into that. But let's go ahead and keep on our tour here. Train's not coming. So we got nets and everything that goes kind of over where all the track is. This one's a little bit off, but just to add a little bit more realism and detail to it. So if we come this way, we go across one of our first bridges. There's the train. Let's see if it works this time. Yep. Okay, so it's working now, so I don't know what happened, or if we just picked it up at the wrong time. Perfect. Coming through as Willow's drop comes up. Another net going up across that way. So here's one of our first bridges that goes over the, I guess you could call it river or stream that goes between the lake here. I think we got a couple of lakes already built into the park. But so this is one of the bridges. The other bridge is over that way. Now this part of the park I haven't done much of anything with. These rides out here was more placeholders to kind of run the path to see how much room I got to place some stuff. But before we go that way, let's head back this way. Like I said, this was where I spent most of my time with building. My custom lights and everything coming through here. Come back across the front of the eating bay area out here. And we do have some room out here. I don't know if I'm going to put anything here or just kind of have it open. I don't want to have it too cluttered. But if we come up to this building with our hundreds of lights, I didn't realize I put that many lights through here. We have information and first aid station. Oh, gotta fix that too. Again, I need to work on all this. I need to come up with some type of first aid stuff to put back here. But then we also have our first gift shop, Trailhead Treasures. So we can come in here, you can buy you a whole bunch of different merch and stuff. Hey. Our screen here. We probably put another screen down on this end with a different character or something. But yeah, this is our first souvenir shop. I built this one right when this update came through. So it's about the last little bit, that was about the last time I was in this park. At least building stuff like that. Come back out here, we have us a sign and everything for that. So the actual, that in there is almost pretty done on that half. We just have to kind of fix that half over there. And then we come over here to this slide. This slide's gonna stay. I like the position that it is in. Probably just need to make a sign and stuff for it. But it's right here on the edge of the, I guess you would consider this a river. And then over here we have our two twin towers, our two drop towers. I'll have to name these two, but they're going to be kind of similar. I think I'm going to change the colors of them though, so they're not exactly the same. We have our pathways that goes between the twos. We're not going to ride those because everybody kind of knows how those are. We'll get a sky view of this area here in a minute, but we'll go ahead and cross over the bridge here into our, I guess, our phase 2 of the park. Again, I haven't really done much of anything over here. So here's the second bridge. It's not covered. I wanted to kind of give a difference between the two bridges. So again, these were more placeholders. I don't know if these are actually going to go right here. We've gotten a lot more new rides in since I was out here. So we'll see how that turns out. I hate it when it does that. The path's messed up. Alright, so we'll walk down this way. So that just makes a big loop out that way. And then I think it goes off that way a little bit and loops back this down over here. Don't even remember how I did my own path. Yeah, so that'll loop back that way and then come back in this way. I never really had a theme for this area. This area was going to be like a normal amusement park. It's just going to have normal rides like that. No main theming. The other part of the parks will have theming. But we're going to come up here to our second roller coaster. Oh, he's just there for scale. But this is our wooden roller coaster, and it's probably going to be our biggest and longest roller coaster it is right now. So this is the Canyon Run, and you'll see why I called it that here in a minute. So let's go ahead and walk in here. We're going through the service part. So the station isn't complete yet, so it's still a work in progress, but it's starting to get there. We're going to put a roof and everything up in here and kind of hide some of these, so if you're coming through the queue you won't be able to really see up here, and we'll put the floor and everything in. So let's go ahead and hop onto the Canyon Run. We'll have to hit the other train coming through. The coaster will run for just under 2 minutes, topping out over 70 miles per hour, and focuses on consistent motion rather than one big standout moment. This first lift hill is one of the tallest points in the park so far, giving you a chance to look out over the western side before the ride dives down into the canyon. From up here you can really see how much land the coaster covers and how the layout was carved into the landscape rather than built on top of it. Canyon Run uses a split station design. Guests exit here on the upper platform while the train continues down into the main station below where the loading takes place. This setup helps keep things moving and gives the station more vertical interest, especially since the coaster itself is built so heavily into the terrain. Alright, so that was the Canyon Run. Very big OSHA issue right here without the railings. But so we're going to be able to come back out this way, back under, so this is where the train just comes back down to the lower station. So then we're going to go ahead and head off this way over the highway coming in, and this is going to be another view of the canyon. So we're going to make us a little bridge that goes over this part. This would be more of a stream, I guess, this way, since the it actually ends down there. And then we're going to come off this way. We're going to have trees and everything decorating the sides of here. We're not going to really have any rides up this way. And then we're going to take the bridge that's going to go over the highway. So right now it's just a solid bridge like this. But I was maybe thinking of kind of changing the bridge out a little bit. We can make it similar to the bridge I have over here. Once we come up here, you can check this out. So again, this is one of the very first things I made over here. I did this one after we got the update to make the invisible paths. So this is an actual invisible path, and then we have a glass bridge that you can walk over. So now you can see the canyon below, and then we have glass on the side so you can look out over the canyon. That was a little freaky out. You could look over the canyon this way, and then again you can just come over here and just walk along the glass. These guys don't like walking along the glass, they just want to walk along the wood part, which is also fine. Got a little gap here too. I'll have to fix that. But yeah, I think this makes a really... Oh, you can see the coaster go by. That was a good view also. We got another railroad crossing right here, which I need to fix. So you can see the actual railroad crossing, but these shouldn't be here. So that must have changed in something. But this one should also work once the train comes through. I hear it. It should be coming from this way. Yep, see? You can see the train coming around the bend there. So the train actually crosses over the canyon down here too. It comes out of a tunnel right there, if you can kind of see it. And then it comes up and then just drives across the canyon here. This is where we came through with the canyon run. Here you can see a little bit more if I get through the dirty window here. Yep, see this one works also. You can kind of see the lights flickering in the top here and from the glass on the bottom. So now we can cross. This is going to be our water park area. Now this is probably going to change. This is another one of the last updates that I did. Look, we got a thing here out in the middle. Those are all out in the middle. I feel like they changed some stuff since I've been through here, because I know for a fact none of that was there when I first made this lazy river. But again, that's been months. Back in July, I think, when I was building all this. So all of this is probably going to change a lot. Especially my Aqua Summit right here. But we'll come back this way. I don't know if... I liked how these slides came out, but I didn't like how we come up to them. Guess this is supposed to go up that way. We actually do not have access up to those slides, so we're not even going to ride them. So again, I don't even know if I'm going to keep those. We might change out and redo this whole water park. I know I'm going to redo Aqua Summit here. So Aqua Summit was another contest build that I did on early on. They were doing a flumes contest, so this is what I submitted for it. Again, this was all way before the flume update, so a lot of the stuff doesn't really work anymore because I was able to clip rocks and stuff through the flumes, as you can see right there, and then they changed it so the flumes don't have flat bottoms no more. So that's how all this got messed up. I was going to go through and just kind of fix this up for this contest, if I was going to keep this or not in here. So I wouldn't have had time to rebuild a whole new one. But since we're not doing the contest no more, I can build a whole new Aqua Summit. We could take a little tour inside, but we're not going to ride any of the slides. Again, since none of them are going to change, and a lot of them are clipping and messed up like that. I think I tried to fix a couple of them. But this is... I'm going to try to kind of base it off the new one off of this one. I especially liked how my signs came out. These were custom signs that I made at the time. Again, this was very early gameplay. Maybe one update, I think, happened since this happened. So, all of this was done then, but I know we can do a whole lot better now. Here we have these signs. This was our employees only section. So we had our employee stuff, we have our pump and everything in here. So this is kind of the inside of the mountain. And we'll come back out this way. So the rides are open. This Splash Emporium is not open. I did not open it, but no matter, it says open. See, life's better with a splash. Aqua Summit. I had fun doing these signs when I made this build. Like, this whole build came out really well. Like, I was very surprised at how I actually made this all come out at that early stage of the game. We have our changing rooms over here, more custom doors that I made. So everything in here is pretty much custom. This was not custom, except for the text. That was one thing they really said about this one when they came through and toured it, that they really liked the signs, that there was a lot of people they didn't make a lot of signs, and I probably made enough signs for everybody that didn't make signs, so these are all got mixed up. Because this was made before another update they did with the screens, so that's why all these screens were messed up. Because there is actually text on the other side of these screens, and when they did that update, it messed it up. And it happened to come right in between of them judging everything. So like when I submitted, everything worked, and then by the time it got judged, that update came through and kind of messed everything up. Over here is supposed to be our spa area. So kind of like a hot tub. You can come out here. You can actually come and swim in this. And then here's the other part of the other ride coming down. Dock your floats here. So let's go ahead and head up, and we'll show you up there. Just since we got time here. Now this is on the workshop, but again, a lot of the stuff's broken, so you'd have to go through and fix everything. I might update it one day and then add the new update to the workshop, fixing all the rides and the signs so they actually look right. If anybody's interested in that, let me know. I will go through and update it and put it in the workshop. So we have a little wave pool up here. Then we have another kind of food spot up here. See, these were another more custom signs. And then we had our Winding Waters ride here. So this one was a tube ride, or a big tube ride. See all the rocks in the middle. And then if we come up here, you can see the tubes coming through here. We got Little Creek Splash. So this is the little ride right here. That's this one. So this one's probably about the only one that didn't break, because they didn't have too much stuff to it. It stays flat, so I didn't have to worry about that one. We got more waterfalls coming through here. So let's head on up here. I did change all this out because we have this little path here. This was not originally there, so that's why there's no railing and stuff right here. Because when I was trying to just add on to this, but we come up here to our other 3 slides. Look down here. You can look down into kind of the food area, and across this top we have our little lighthouse over there. That lighthouse was part of the build, and I actually have that lighthouse by itself on the workshop too, if you want to be interested into that. We have a drop one right here, so you just hop in and then it drops you through the weeds, and this kind of goes through the inside of the mountain. And then we have our 2 that ended up down there, our 2 tubes, and you can see stuff in the middle of those. And then I have what I was adding on to, again, it'll probably be changed. Since all this is going to change, I'm most likely going to change this too. Get over there. There we go. You can see more of the actual, all that down there was the same. The little rapid area right there by the waterfall and the little stream. You get a little bit more views of down here and at the inside of the mountain there. So up here we had a log foam fume, or whatever you want to call it. So since we are changing the mountain around and going to change the whole mountain itself, we're probably going to go ahead and just replace that too. So we're not going to go ahead and ride that at this time. But yeah, this was Aqua Summit. Some things have changed up here too since I've added all this on there. And then of course my working lighthouse. Not only did I have signs on the inside of the Aqua Summit, I had signs all around the outside too. So let's head on back down here, and then we'll head on to our last section of the park. Alright, so let's go ahead and head on out. So that was the little water park area. There is a train station up here. It has not been built, but there's a train station right there. But since we're going to really be replacing and redoing this whole section, we're not really going to look at too much more over here. So we just had another pool you could walk in. Another bigger wave pool over here. And of course, the lazy river that goes by. You got the train that comes along the edge of the canyon here into that station. And then it'll wrap back around and into the main station. So let's go ahead and cross back to the bridge onto our second half, or our other half of the park. So I guess you would call that the main section. That could have been like the phase 2 section. You got the water park up here, and then we have another section over here. Let's walk back across the bridge here. You guys are too scared to walk across this bridge? So now we're going to come down to this section. This is another spot where the bus drops off. We'll probably build a parking lot over here also now. I don't know if I was originally going to have a parking lot because of time and everything. I didn't want to build a huge, big water park and blow everybody up that tries to load it up. But now that's not the case. I got all the time in the world to build this up. So we'll probably redo this entrance area some more over here. But this was going to be my western area. So this was going to be themed as western. And then back there where the flume was, that was going to be western pirate. It's back over here on the other side of this mountain. Where the log fume was put into another kind of lake. That lake ran into the waterfall. Did we actually see the waterfall? Let's come back up here and look at the waterfall. But this just makes one big loop back around here. So that's what this section was going to be. Nothing interesting there besides the other train station that's over there. So we'll see that bit better with the bigger view. But let's come down here. We can see the waterfall. Oh, you can just barely see the waterfall off in the distance over there. But I do have a waterfall. It's what's putting the water down into the canyon. You can kind of see it over here. You saw it when we were riding the canyon run here, but I didn't know if we didn't really see it that much. You can also really see it when you ride the train and cross over this bridge over here. So you can see the train bridge that comes out of the tunnel. That's the same tunnel that's down there. But that's this part of the park, so let's go ahead and zoom out, and we can talk a little bit more of what I have planned going on. Okay, so here's the waterfall I was talking about, and here's the log flume with our light tower here. Here's one of the signs I said that I had on the outside. So like the Aqua Summit fit really well into here, but like I said, that was going to be a lot of work that I would need to do to fix these slides, because some of these stones right through here actually had to be right where they are, or they were gonna kind of get in the way of some of the other ones. So like you can see these in here, so if these got moved down, these would have squished this up a little bit more. This one actually didn't do too bad. I wonder if this is one of the ones that I fixed. So this is the big family ride that came up through this way, and then you see our other ones come through here. We had another little waterfall and little area like this. But this build right here was real fun to build, but it was kind of challenging. We had a lot of different rules we had to follow. But I really enjoyed that one, and it was a good one that kind of started out to get me the use of Planet Coaster 2. Because again, we did this pretty much right after the game came out. And then here, you can see more view of Canyon Run. So here's one of the tunnels we went through. And then here's the other tunnel that goes back up to the second lift hill. And then you have this little kind of stream coming through here. And then it's supposed to disappear underground here. So it's like it goes into its own little cave. We're going to clean this up so you can't actually see the cave when you're up in any of the areas. Again, with this road right here, this is supposed to be the main highway coming through. So that's what we built that for. Again, since I can change more of the pathways and stuff, I can make this a little bit different. I made more of a highway bridge in Planet Coaster 1. I think I did a video of that. I might clip it up ahead up here if I can find that video. If you want to look at it after this or at some point, we might just clip it in the description. Here's the train bridge. Yeah, something definitely had to change because I know this wasn't like this. So these rocks or these this stuff had to have changed somehow into the update. But this was one of the train tunnels here. Nice dark tunnel coming through here. Out the other end. So we'll probably do the other thing, kind of put wood up to go through here. And then we come through this like this. And we have the wood over here. Of course, here's our waterfall. Coming out of our lake up here at the top. So I was originally just going to kind of put cowboy stuff. Like this was an old cowboy mine. This was before we had pirate stuff, so that's what this was going to be themed in, to kind of match with our western area down here. But now that we have pirates, this is probably going to be a nice big pirate cove up here. So we're going to do pirate stuff up here with the new log flume or whatever ride we want to do. It might be a different rapid ride or something like that. That'll come through here. And then our western area is going to be out this way. It's probably just going to cut off right here because we get these service roads back over here. So we have our bus that comes through. It comes through, cuts in through here, cuts back out here, parks, and just makes this little inside loop of the parking lot. But now we can extend the parking lot out this way or over here. So when people can park here and either come in through this entrance. So this is going to be an entrance, that's going to be an entrance. Here's more of a sky view of the main entrance area. We got our big lake back here with a little river that comes in through here. Or you can kind of call this part of the lake, and then it ends back this way. I was debating if I wanted to put in another waterfall, but I think that might be a little bit too much to put in a waterfall right here. But I do got time now, so it's something I can think about later. And then we have another little lake back here. Now back here was going to be where we were going to have a hotel. So I originally had a train stop back here that was going to stop at the hotel. But that's why this bus station here is one for this parking lot. So people can get onto the trolley here instead of having to walk all the way back this way. But now I'm thinking of making this into Toyland. Since we have the new toy update. So this whole area, probably through here, back around this way. I'm going to redo this and make it Toyland, like a mini park. Part of the big park. So we're going to have a way that people can, that's already paid for, can walk into here and walk over this way. But you can also take the train or the trolley to get into here. So this is going to be like our third entrance. I don't know if we're going to do a walkway that comes over this way, but we can always turn these into areas too now. Again, since we don't have any time frame, if any more interesting DLCs come through, we can always make this into another little park and make the bus stop here or whatever. But that's kind of my plans, and start building up the park some more. So I'm going to try to do either videos, update videos of what I've done, and then I'll probably also do some videos of building up some of the park. I think doing a video of how, especially how I made this, the Aqua Summit. So we'll do a tear down and then a rebuild of the Aqua Summit. It'll be Aqua Summit Part 2. And we might actually make this whole area into Aqua Summit. So it's just not going to be this one little thing. So our whole water park itself will be Aqua Summit 2. It's going to be a big, huge build, I think. I want to get more into detail instead of just having all this out here like this. So more detail of what we can... So kind of like what we did inside of here. A little bit more compact to make it look a little bit better. Of course, we'll have to build our station. Because we might make this like inside an actual mountain, so the mountain will come up taller, and you'll only see parts of rides that's coming out of it. I think that'll scope this mountain out, so it doesn't look like we just cut off the top of it. This was an actual mountain that we built a water park inside of. So I think that's a really good concept I can build with it, and then we can have the stuff come out here to this lake. And we can kind of cut some of this out too if we need to, make the lake a little bit bigger. And of course we're going to have our western area right here. But that's it. This is my new project I'm going to be working on. It's not going to be something that's going to be done every week. So I'll do videos for it as I get time to actually get in here to work on it. So you might see one video a month. There might be a couple of videos a month, depending on what I'm doing and what I'm building. And again, they're not all going to be showing me building everything, but there might be an update video. Let's say I built this whole area out, then I'll come update and kind of show what I've done over here. And then, like I said before, we might actually do more of a building video of how I built to build the water park, and then stuff like that. There might be certain rides that I might do a video on. Alright, that's going to wrap things up for this park tour. Thanks to everyone who took the time to come out and watch. I really appreciate it. This park is very much an ongoing project, and one thing I want to do moving forward is open it up a little more to the community. If you've built a ride or attraction that you think would fit in this park, feel free to let me know in the comments below. You can drop the link to the Steam Workshop and I'll take a look at it. Anything that makes it in will, of course, be fully credited. I'm also keeping the idea open of letting people build directly inside the park. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. There would be some rules and restrictions to keep everything cohesive, but it's something we can absolutely talk about. This park is going to keep growing from here, and I'm excited to see where it goes next. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.